Hey there, welcome back to the channel. She said it's over, just like that. No warning, no explanation. 1 minute she was in your life, laughing, talking, loving. The next, she was gone, and all you were left with was silence. It hurts, doesn't it? Not just the breakup, but the way she made it look so easy, like you were just a chapter she finished reading, like the love you gave wasn't enough to be remembered. But let me tell you something. Her saying it's over doesn't mean the story is finished. It means a new one is just beginning, and not hers, yours. This isn't the end. This is the moment that defines you. The moment where most people break, but a few, they evolve, they rise. She thought you'd fall apart. She expected tears. She expected you to beg. But what she never expected is silence, strength, growth. Because here's the truth she doesn't realize yet. The moment she left, she triggered your transformation. And she's not ready for who you're about to become. You don't have to chase. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to look back. Just focus on what happens next. Because when you stop trying to prove your worth to someone who walked away, you start discovering your true power. And eventually, she will see it too. She said it's over. Good. Now watch what happens next. Number 1. The breakup shock. What she really means. The moment she says, it's over, your world shifts. It doesn't feel real at first. It's like the words echo in your head without landing. You try to rewind the last conversation, the last argument, the last look in her eyes, searching for a sign. Something that would have warned you. Something that would have prepared you. But there was no warning, and that's the part that shakes you. What most people don't understand is that when someone ends a relationship, especially abruptly, it's rarely about that one moment. It's a build-up, a slow erosion of feelings, clarity, and connection. But here's the twist. When she finally says it's over, she's not telling you the truth. She's telling herself a story. Maybe it's a story that makes her feel less guilty. Maybe it's a story that justifies her detachment. Maybe it's a story that paints her as the one who's still in control. But whatever it is, it doesn't always reflect the full reality. Sometimes saying it's over isn't a final decision. It's a cry for clarity. A move driven by confusion, ego, fear, or even testing your emotional limits. Seneca once said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." And in this context, to keep showing up with love, effort, and vulnerability in a world of games and uncertainty, that is a courageous act. But here's where the Stoic wisdom kicks in. Your power lies not in controlling what she said, but in how you respond to it. The truth is, her words might be final, or they might be temporary, but you can't gamble your self-worth on what she might feel tomorrow. When someone leaves, what they really mean is, I'm choosing to let go. And no matter how sudden or shocking that feels, your strength is in choosing not to chase after someone who's already walked away. This isn't about proving you were good enough. It's about realizing that the end of something one-sided is the beginning of something stronger inside you. Don't look for closure in her words. Don't look for answers in her silence. Look inward. Because the first shock of heartbreak is your wake-up call, not to fix her decision, but to start rebuilding your foundation. And soon, you'll realize what felt like the end was actually the first move toward becoming someone even she didn't expect. Number 2. Her silence isn't the end, it's test. After the breakup comes the silence. No calls, no texts, no likes on your posts, no stories watched. It feels like she vanished. And that silence? It can drive a man insane, not because he can't move on, but because the silence feels like rejection. It feels like abandonment. It feels like erasure. But here's the uncomfortable truth most won't say out loud. Her silence is not always the end. It's a test. She's watching how you react. She's seeing if you beg, if you chase, if you collapse without her presence. She wants to know if your strength was real or just dependent on her attention. Because in that silence, she gets to observe without being involved. She gets to sit back and study your emotional endurance like a scientist watching a subject in an experiment. And most men fail this test. They break no contact. They send long messages. They call, trying to explain, trying to apologize for things they didn't even do wrong, all in an attempt to feel seen again. But here's where Stoic wisdom becomes your greatest weapon. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You cannot control whether she replies. You cannot control whether she misses you. You cannot control whether she regrets leaving. But what you can control is how you respond to her silence. And your silence, if rooted in discipline, not ego, is more powerful than any paragraph you could send. Because the moment you don't react, the moment you don't chase, the moment you hold your composure when everything inside you is screaming to reach out, that's when the dynamic flips. She expected you to fold. She expected the messages, the emotional collapse, the pursuit. But when none of that comes, doubt creeps in. Is he really letting go? Why isn't he reacting? Did I matter less than I thought? Her silence was a test. But your silence? That's the answer. Not silence filled with bitterness or games, but silence built on clarity and self-worth. Silence that says, I loved you, but I love me more. Because if someone can walk away from your life and never check in, not out of space but indifference, they're not your person. Let her observe. Let her wonder. Let her question her own decision while you rebuild without fanfare. Silence, when chosen wisely, is not weakness. It's a declaration of emotional strength. You don't win her back by talking louder. You win your power back by being quiet with purpose. Number 3, why walking away creates regret. In the aftermath of silence, there's one move that changes everything. Walking away. Not with anger, not with a dramatic farewell or a final emotional outburst, but with quiet certainty. The kind of walking away that says, I've made peace with the pain. I've outgrown the chaos. I choose peace now, even if that means without you. That's when regret begins to take root. Because while she may have ended things believing you'd stay stuck, watching your transformation from a distance forces her to see something she never expected. You were the one she shouldn't have lost. People don't usually regret what's loud. They regret what disappears silently. And make no mistake, people always notice your absence when you stop announcing your worth. She might have been certain when she left, confident even. But your walking away disrupts that confidence. Because now, the power she once held is dissolving. The man she thought would crumble is rebuilding, not to prove her wrong, but to reclaim his own life. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Wasting time waiting on someone to validate your worth, that's the real tragedy. Walking away is how you take that time back. You see, regret doesn't come because you begged, cried, or tried harder. Regret hits when you no longer need them, when you're glowing differently, when your voice gets calmer, when your presence gets quieter, when your life starts to bloom without them, not out of revenge, but from real healing. That's what they regret. The version of you they couldn't see until they lost the chance to be beside it. And while you're not walking away to make her regret, it happens anyway. Not because you punished her, but because you freed yourself. When you walk away with dignity, you create a mirror. She sees a version of herself that couldn't appreciate something real. She sees how she mishandled a love that was genuine. She sees you standing taller without needing her validation. And that's what stings. Because it's not just that you're gone, it's that you're not looking back. So let her sit with that silence. Let her witness your distance. Let her regret not because you vanished, but because you finally saw your own value clearly and chose to protect it. There is no greater revenge than peace, no louder message than growth, and no more powerful move than walking away with your soul still intact. Regret isn't something you force. It's something they feel when you stop giving them the access they never truly earned. Number 4. What she doesn't expect you to do. She expected you to chase her. She expected the calls at 2 a.m., the "I miss you" texts, the desperation in your voice when you saw her online but not replying. That's the version of you she calculated for. The emotionally broken man who needed her more than he needed himself. But when you didn't do what she expected, when you didn't run after her, when you went silent, truly silent, it shocked her. She didn't expect you to go quiet. She didn't expect you to rebuild. She didn't expect you to do the one thing she never prepared for: choose yourself. Because the truth is, when people push you away, they always do it with an escape plan in mind. They expect you to stay orbiting around them, emotionally weak and easily accessible. But you broke the cycle. You didn't beg. You didn't argue. You didn't fall apart. You leveled up. You went ghost, not to play games, but to heal. You stopped explaining yourself. You stopped chasing closure. You started building again, without her shadow haunting your every move. And now she's confused, because the old you, he would have folded. But the new you, he's unpredictable, he's powerful. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." And that's exactly what you did. You didn't mirror her coldness. You didn't become bitter or broken. You became calm, focused, quietly dangerous. She doesn't expect that, because people don't expect you to get better when they leave. They expect you to break, because it makes their decision easier to justify. But when you rise, when you focus on your fitness, your finances, your inner peace, when your energy becomes rare and your presence becomes expensive, that's when they question everything. She starts wondering, was I wrong? How did he move on so fast? Did he ever love me? And the answers to those questions don't come from your words. They come from your absence, from your growth, from the reality that you're now a version of yourself that no longer needs her approval. You didn't disappear to punish her. You vanished to rebuild you. And ironically, that's exactly what she didn't think you had the strength to do. So, keep doing what she didn't expect. Keep being the man who doesn't fall back into patterns. Keep choosing peace over chaos. Keep being silent when they expect noise. Because every move you make now in your own power is a reminder to her that she underestimated the wrong man. Number 5. Your transformation in her absence. She thought your silence meant you were stuck, that you were crying in the dark, replaying every memory, scrolling through old photos, and waiting, just waiting, for her return. But what she didn't see was what silence actually gave you. Space, focus, power. In her absence, you stopped surviving and started evolving. No more constant checking of your phone. No more dragging your heart through imaginary conversations. No more giving your energy to someone who already walked away. Instead, you turned your pain into fuel. You hit the gym, not just to look better, but to feel stronger. You poured yourself into your work, your goals, your passions. You finally did the one thing you were too distracted to do before. You invested in you. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." You defined your next chapter without her, not to prove anything to her, but to prove everything to yourself. Because here's the hard truth. Pain is a powerful teacher, and heartbreak is a brutal motivator. But transformation, that's a choice, and you made it. You chose discipline over distraction, growth over grief, progress over pity. You stopped asking, "Why did she leave?" and started asking, "Who am I becoming because she left?" And that shift, it changed everything. Now your energy is different. You walk with presence. You speak with clarity. You don't need validation, attention, or affection to feel whole anymore, because the man who needed her to feel complete, he's gone. In his place stands someone far more powerful, someone calm under pressure, someone driven by purpose, not pain, someone who doesn't chase what walks away. And guess what? She can feel it. Even from afar, she notices your shift. Mutual friends mention how you've changed. Your social media reflects confidence instead of confusion. Your glow is louder than your silence ever was. And now, she's the one watching. She may not say it, she may not show it, but she sees it. The transformation in your eyes, the way your presence now demands attention, the version of you that no longer revolves around her. This was never about revenge. It was about rebirth. And the irony, the more you become this new version of yourself, the more she realizes what she lost, not the man you were, but the man you are now, because she left. Number 6. The moment she starts watching you again. At first, she moved on like it meant nothing. She posted those carefree selfies, those night-out stories, those cryptic captions meant to show she was glowing without you. You saw it, and yes, it hurt, but you didn't flinch, you didn't react, and that was the beginning of your power. Now it's her turn to scroll in silence. Because here's what happens when you truly move on. The energy shifts, and energy is louder than words. She starts noticing things she never expected. You look different, not just physically, but energetically. You seem unbothered, focused. There's no sadness in your eyes, no hint of desperation, no digital footprints stalking her every move. That's silence. It speaks. And trust me, it screams. She starts lurking again, watches your stories without interacting, accidentally likes an old post, unblocks you for no reason. But this isn't love. It's curiosity mixed with confusion. She needs to know, how did he get better without me? Because she thought you'd fall apart. She thought she was the best part of your life. She didn't expect you to rebuild. She didn't expect you to shine without needing her to see it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In your case, the best response is no response. The best clapback is growth. The best power move is peace. She checks your profile, not out of care, but confusion. You're not validating her anymore. You're not reacting. You're not chasing. And that breaks her more than any goodbye ever could. Now she's the one overthinking. Does he still miss me? Was I really that important? Is he seeing someone new? And she may never ask these questions out loud, but her actions say it all. The 3 a.m. story views, the random follow, the accidental message, the silence-breaking emoji reaction, it's all testing the waters. but you're no longer drowning in them. You've become the calm in your own storm. The version of you she's watching now, that's the version she always said she wanted, but couldn't wait around for. Now that you've become him, she realizes, too late, that she was the one who couldn't grow beside you. And here's the twist. She may never tell you she's watching. She may never reach out. But you'll know. Because silence has a way of echoing louder than words. And now, her silence carries the weight of regret. Number 7. When she comes back, and why you won't care. They always come back, maybe not with flowers in hand or a long apology, but with a, "Hey, just thinking of you," or a meme, or some weak excuse to re-enter your life, as if the wreckage they left behind never happened. But by the time she comes back, something inside you has shifted. And it's not hate, it's not anger, it's indifference. Because true healing doesn't look like revenge, it looks like peace. You no longer crave her attention. You no longer wait for her texts. You're not scrolling to see if she viewed your story, because you're too busy building a life that doesn't include her anymore. She expected you to wait, to stay broken, to be ready to forgive the moment she changed her mind. But you didn't. You evolved. You outgrew the version of you that needed validation from someone who couldn't even choose you when it mattered. And now, she's standing in front of a man she no longer recognizes. A man who doesn't flinch at her messages, who doesn't get emotional when she brings up the past, who doesn't light up when she walks in the room. Epictetus once said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." The pain she caused, you no longer carry it like a wound. You carry it like a lesson, and she feels that. She may try to rekindle the fire, but she'll find that the flame doesn't burn the same anymore. Because the version of you that once cried for her, begged for her, waited for her, that man is gone. You didn't just move on, you moved up. You learned to love your solitude, to invest in your growth, to prioritize your peace. And now, her return doesn't shake your world. It confirms your decision to walk away from it. Her coming back isn't the happy ending you used to pray for. It's just proof that you were never the problem. So, when she sends that text, or stands in front of you looking for a way back in, you won't rage, you won't gloat, you won't even care. You'll smile, calm, grounded, unbothered, because closure doesn't come from conversations. It comes from evolution, and the ultimate power is when she wants you again, and you realize you don't want her at all. So, she said it's over. She thought you'd fall apart. She thought you'd chase, beg, lose yourself trying to win her back. And maybe for a moment you almost did, but instead you chose yourself. You embraced the silence. You faced the pain. You took every broken piece she left behind and rebuilt someone stronger, wiser, more powerful. And now, look at you, not just surviving, but evolving. Not stuck in the past, but building a future where you no longer shrink for someone else's comfort. Let her come back. Let her watch from a distance. Let her realize that her absence wasn't your ending. It was your awakening. Because when someone walks away thinking you'll fall, and they return to find you've risen, that's not just healing, that's dominance. And now, the power has shifted. Because you no longer need closure. You are the closure. Don't respond with bitterness. Don't engage in petty games. Respond with peace, with silence, with growth. Because real strength isn't proven in how loudly you scream. It's in how calmly you walk away, never looking back. So when she finally says, "I miss you," your only answer will be your success, your peace, and your smile. She said, "It's over." But now you're just getting started.